This is RocknR English. Real people, real English. Here's your host, Martin Johnston.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of RocknR English. Episode number 272, baby. Oh yeah. In today's episode, I speak to Clarification Charlie. Yes, she is back because we needed someone to give us an inside analysis of this Jubilee weekend in England to celebrate the 70th year of the Queen being the Queen. I'm not really sure. Obviously, I live in England now as well, so we give you some inside information. We do also almost for once have a little bit of a serious conversation because Clarification Charlie, let's say, likes the royal family whilst I don't. Okay, anyway, I will talk to you again at the end. Happy listening. Clarification Charlie, how are you today?
I'm very well, thank you, Martin. How are you?
Always fantastic. Always fantastic. Long time no speak. It feels good to hear your posh voice again.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, no, it has been quite a long time actually this time, but it's good to be back.
Good to have you back. And we have got an absolute blinding episode lined up, okay? But before we get on to that, how do we usually start the show?
With a review.
Do you think we have a review?
Yes.
Yes, we do. So happy about that, aren't you?
I am, yeah.
The first win. That's why I do this, because it gives the other person, it's when they get it right, it's such a great feeling. Sure, when they get it wrong, we start on a terrible foot, let's say. Sour note, that's a much better one. Sour note, yes. So this is a Facebook review, and it's from Pierluigi. And it says, thanks a lot for your work. I listen every day to your podcast and now I speak like a native. Amazing podcast, funny and entertaining stories that help improve British English. Well done. So excellent. Thank you, Pierluigi.
Excellent. Thank you. What a pat on the back that was for you.
Absolutely. And the name there reminded me of something the last time I think we spoke, Clarification Charlie. Admittedly, this name was Pierluigi, but the name Luigi, when I told you that I actually have an Italian friend called Luigi, you thought that was hilarious.
I really did. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was just like so stereotypical. It would just no one would ever actually call their child Luigi.
Yeah, it's like I said, for me it wasn't strange because I know lots of people called Luigi. And as I said to you, there must be, I'm sure, two brothers called Mario and Luigi in Italy because they are very common names. So if a Mario is listening and has a brother called Luigi, just get in contact, okay?
That will blow my mind. If that actually happens, that would blow my mind.
So please get in contact and we can blow Clarification Charlie's mind together. So on to today's pod. As I said, an absolute blinder, belter, whatever you want to call it. I told you what it's about, and it is about the Jubilee weekend.
Yay!
Okay? Because royalty, yes. In fact, I thought about this. This is the thing about royalty. You know, they are hated, loved, adored, but never ignored. Okay, because I'm such a poet, aren't I? That's actually from a football. I saw that at a football stadium once, actually. Hated, loved, adored, never ignored, and thought this is a perfect opportunity to use it. So, yeah, for people that don't know, I'm not sure how big this was in other parts of the world. It was, what was the celebration? The Queen, the 70 years that she's been the Queen, yeah?
Yeah, Platinum Jubilee, I believe it's called.
Something like that. So in England, there were 2 days holiday. Now, I mean, let's start with that. 2 days. So the country just closes for 2 days because there's some stupid thing about the Queen. Is that not ridiculous?
It's not. Well, you're ever so slightly incorrect there, okay? Because we were given an additional bank holiday.
Yes.
Because of the Jubilee. And what they did was they moved the traditional bank holiday from the Monday to the Friday.
Yes. But still, why? Why do people need In fact, when I speak to people, like some of my friends, Corporal Coma, for example, and I say, what do you think about the Royals? They say, well, I'm just happy because I get days off work. So
yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's just great. I think it's a lovely little thank you to the country, and we get a day off. I love it. I absolutely love it.
This is what I mean. That
lots of parties everywhere. Everyone knew what it was about. My God, my daughter, mini clarification, Charlie, is always blinking singing God Save the Queen now because she learned it in school.
So they taught that to the kids for this. Right, okay, wow.
She's been learning about the Queen and Jubilee for about the last month.
Right.
Drawing pictures, making flags, and she keeps coming out with lines from the national anthem all the time. She sings along to it.
I mean, it's quite short, isn't it? The national anthem, and I always think it talks about God, and I mean, like England must be one of the least religious countries that exists, and the Queen and lots of people, I'm not going to mention who, don't like the idea of having a queen. So the two things in the song, you're kind of like, well, this is a load of shit. But on parties, did you have a street party?
Do you know what? I didn't. Well, we did. No, we did. It's
a simple question. It's a yes or no question, really.
Yes, but I was on a hen do.
Right.
So
I
came back. I did come back to the party. I literally arrived at 11:45 and the party was 12 o'clock. And so I went, but in traditional British style, it did start to rain.
Yeah.
So we played a few games. We ate a barbecued sausage and, then went back to our homes. So it was fine. Was it
one sausage per person? Was there like during the war where it was like, rationing food?
Out. Yeah. No, I think I could have had more if I wanted to, but I'd had a busy 3 nights on a hen do. So I wasn't perhaps feeling like multiple sausages at that time.
Sure, keep it to one. Because where I live, there was also a street party.
Ooh.
And it was totally mental. I went, obviously. I mean, the thing I liked about it is no one mentioned the Queen. And in fact, only one person did that I spoke to. And he said to me, I am not a royalist at all. This is just a good excuse for a party. And then I thought, you are my mate. Okay, now this is the type of person I want to talk to. And nobody else mentioned it. Everyone was wearing the person who actually put on the party had like a waistcoat with a Union Jack on. There were flags outside. In fact, our street was full of flags and all of the houses decorated. And then there is our house where the house next door had a flag with the Queen on it. And then our house, literally nothing.
So spot the ones that have just moved back to the UK.
Well, it wasn't that. It was more of a protest. Protest.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You were principled. I forgot about that.
Exactly. But when was the Royals stuff? When did they have their party? Because I must admit, obviously, I didn't watch that.
Was it the Friday? So she did the balcony appearance.
I've got absolutely.
And then she retired for the rest of it. She's not feeling great.
Right.
I don't think. So she did her balcony visit and then didn't partake in anything else.
Must have been difficult for her, to walk on the balcony. In fact, so speaking about her, I read an article about the whole weekend, and it actually said, whatever one thinks of the monarchy, it's very hard to attack a frail elderly woman. So frail meaning weak. And well, I mean, my initial thought is, I never say anything bad against her. I'm not, and I would certainly never attack her. She's 96. But I believe she gets praised so much. Like, oh, she's so fantastic just for being alive. Like, I mean,
I understand what you're saying.
She's not doing hard work, is she? It's not like she's the queen and she's like cleaning floors every day. You know, I mean, I would be surprised if she's ever cleaned a floor in her whole life. She's just being praised for literally being alive and like waving every now and again. And like I always say, I'm sure she's lovely. Nothing against her. It's the system which is not right.
Yeah, I suppose. I think they do quite a lot of like diplomatic stuff, don't they? So
what does that involve? Like signing a piece of paper that someone else has told her you need to put your name on this?
I think it's more just, well, no, as in like between other countries, as in like maintaining like foreign relations and diplomacy and...
Yeah, I read that she has visited over 100 countries. So, you know, that's pretty good travelling, isn't it? And she has been to Canada 22 times. Like, surely after 20 times you're thinking... like seen this before, like should we go somewhere else? Again though, that must be really difficult being flown around the world, isn't it? You know, traveling, if you say to people what do you like doing, everyone says, you know, traveling, but the problem is people can't travel because they have to work and they have to pay for stuff. But so it's not that, I don't think it's that difficult to visit countries, is it?
No, definitely not. But they have probably some interesting, perhaps some tough conversations sometimes between various.
Oh, wow!
But they do, don't they? They meet all the different political leaders, and they bring things to the forefront, and things they have to have like arranged. Things are planned, aren't they? They will discuss this item, this item, this item.
I mean, I think everyone has difficult conversations at work. And I also don't think the Queen is doing that. I'm pretty sure that's kind of Prime Minister vibe. I'm not sure, but I can't imagine a 96-year-old woman negotiating like the Brexit deal, for example.
True. Very true.
Okay, so let's go back to the weekend. Obviously, when you're self-employed, there are no days off, so everyone was really happy, and I still had to work. But I did go out on the Wednesday. I went to a football match, like really getting in the Jubilee weekend spirit by going to an Italy match Italy against Argentina. It was in England though, so that was really getting me in the mood.
Wow.
So when I was coming back as well, because obviously the start of the weekend, there were lots of people out. I got back around midnight and then I had to walk home from the train station. And I have to cross the park, which when I was a child, I always thought I would never go to that park at night. I was tempted to walk the long way, but I thought this is going to take about 20 minutes more. And then I noticed a girl walking in front of me. I mean, I was scared. I was looking around. I was shitting myself. And this girl was walking about 10 meters in front of me and then kept turning around because obviously I imagine she was scared.
Probably thinking, who's this weirdo walking 10 meters behind me?
I'm sure that's what she was thinking. And then it just happened. She was going in the same direction as me. And we kept every turning. I was thinking please turn left because I'm turning right. But she didn't. She turned the same way as me. And I was thinking, oh my God. And then we got to this small bridge. And then she actually started to run. And I wanted to shout, I'm not going to rape you. It's okay. But I also thought, that's not something you want to be shouting, really, is it? Just relax. I'm not going to rape you.
Oh my God.
It was. I was tempted to just walk the wrong direction, but then I thought, no, because I do want to go home. So I am entitled to walk in the direction of my house. It was crazy, but luckily she was fine. I was fine. So happy ending on that one. So back to the weekend. So the celebrations, the royals, and apparently Prince Andrew which is one of the Queen's sons, I believe.
Yes.
He couldn't make it because apparently he had COVID, which is convenient, let's say, because he also, again, I'm not sure if people are aware of this. There's something connected to him being a paedophile, I believe.
He's got himself into a bit of bother this year, hasn't he? He's done made a few errors, a few bad judgment calls.
He couldn't make it. Really, real shame. Really disappointed.
Queenie was most upset, I'm sure.
Yeah, I noticed how you call her Queenie, just because you're such good mates.
It's like Bezzy mates, me and Liz, aren't we?
Bezzies, sure.
Bezzies.
And so they're all there, and every time you see them as well, they're always playing happy families, aren't they?
Yeah.
Just look like the perfect family. Even like the kids, they don't really, I think the life just gets sucked out of them because they don't seem to act like normal kids of like...
Yeah. No, I do get that. But because I look at my children, I think my children would never behave that well. I don't out in public.
But that's what I mean. It just like the life is sucked out of them. And like you just sort of think like what a sad life they must live, no privacy in their lives. It's a good job you're not royal, really, isn't it? It's a good job. Yeah, I'm living such a great life instead of being a royal. But on the privacy issue, actually, I've got a great story for you here. So the other day, it was the weekend, Mrs. RnR wasn't feeling particularly great, so she said, "Can you phone the doctor for me?" So I said, "Yeah, okay, sure, no problem." And I was actually out at this moment, and then the doctor said to me, I'm going to have to pass this problem on to another doctor. Is it okay if I share your wife's details with her? So I said, yeah, sure, no problem. And she said, can you ask your wife if it's okay? So I pretended that she was there and asked in Italian, and I just said in Italian, is it okay if they share your details? And I said, yeah, it's fine. And then this woman on the phone said, "No, I need to hear your wife say that yes." And I thought, oh shit. I thought, am I going to have to pretend to do a woman's voice?
Yes.
But I kind of stopped for a minute of silence of like, and then I thought, I can't. So then I just had to come clean and say, sorry, she's actually not here. She was like, but you just asked her. I was like, yeah, but she's gone. She just went away really quickly. Oh God, yeah. I'm sure Prince William wishes he were me.
Yeah,
okay,
for sure. Oh God,
I'm sure he wishes he were me without a shadow of a doubt. But so something else I read on this article was that it said so for all of the Republicans, so people that don't obviously want the monarchy, they're basically saying it was such a joyful day, and they said try and think of something else which will bring this much joy, like this party atmosphere. And I thought, well, when I went to this street party, they said apparently there's going to be a summer party as well on the 16th of July. So that's my answer to that. That's going to bring equal amount of joy. And in fact, apparently they even have a band at the summer party.
Wow.
So exactly, put that in your pipe and smoke it is what.
Absolutely. My goodness.
And Christmas party. I live on like a proper party street.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Yeah.
And it's the southeast. That never happens.
What are you saying about the southeast? You're all people may not know this, but clarification, Charlie is also from the southeast and now talking badly.
I am from the southeast.
Just quickly before we go, did this happen in 2002? Because that would have been 50 years, but I don't remember that. Was there a party in 2002?
Yeah, I went to a party. There were parties everywhere.
But I think there was one in 2012, but in 2002
I went to one then too. I definitely went for one in 2002, and this was when I was trying to be like teenagery and rebellious, and I was just like, I was like,
fuck the Queen.
Yeah, I was like, I'm actually an anti-royalist. Like, so I'm not here celebrating her. I'm just here celebrating myself.
That's basically what I was saying at the street party on Sunday.
Yeah, and I remember I said this, and I think I said it to our postman actually at the time, because he was like, "Oh, you're looking forward to the party?" I went, "No, because I'm an anti-royalist." And then he wrote me a long letter about how hurtful this was. That I because I think he was a unique individual. Anyway, he got very upset at my comments and wrote me a long letter to explain to me how my comments had been so hurtful, especially as he worked for Royal Mail.
Yeah, well, at least he knew where you live. At least he knew where to deliver that letter.
Well, yeah, exactly. You knew where to deliver it. Yeah, for sure. It saved on a stamp, didn't it?
And why were you having conversations with your postman? Is that a normal thing to do?
No, I know. It is a bit odd. Like I say, he was very unique. He did used to like
posting letters and conversations.
Yeah, he did. So,
are you still in contact with this postman? Does he still write you letters?
No.
Wow. Yeah, I don't think I've ever spoken to a postman. Not because I did anything against postmen. Just don't really get into conversations with them. They're doing their thing. I'm doing mine. They're posting the letters, and I'm not doing a lot. I'm just pottering around.
Just wait for it to fall on the floor,
But I don't remember that at all. But I think because that was the year, if it was in June, there was a World Cup on that year. So I was probably more bothered about that. In fact, in 2000,
I wouldn't have been.
Yeah, in 2002, I think I was too stupid to have an opinion on the royals then. So I wouldn't say I was anti-royals then. But 2012, I was living abroad. So this is the first time that I remember that I've been to a Queen Jubilee royal thing. Not sure if that's the official term, but as the person in my street said, I'm not a royalist. It's just an excuse for a party, and I'm up for that. Okay.
Always. I went actually to the Queen's Jubilee party in London in 2012, and I even went to the flotilla. So that's when all the boats come down on the river and stuff. And one of my friend's brothers was actually he is on one of the royal boats.
Of course, because that's the circles that Clarification Charlie moves in.
Please.
Because she is so posh.
I mean, he's definitely not posh. He's from Isle of Dogs. Like, come on, that is proper London.
Just in case people are not familiar with the Isle of Dogs, it's not an island with dogs on.
No.
In fact, I used to live on the Isle of Dogs. So
did you?
I mean, you came to my house when
of course.
That was on the Isle of Dogs.
Yeah.
So there were no dogs on. Well, maybe there were some, but it's not an island of dogs. It's just, let's say, a small island in London. Yeah.
Canary Wharf now, basically.
Canary Wharf, yeah. And it's not posh. It's not posh. But I mean, still, I don't know anyone that's been on a boat with someone royal, except Mental Marky Mark, who was in the RAF with Prince William. Okay, but that is for another podcast because we have gone way over the time here and need to say goodbye for this transcript. It's going to take me ages to write, but a pleasure as always, Clarification Charlie.
Thank you very much,
and we will see you soon. Bye. Okay, so that was me speaking to Clarification Charlie about the royal family, Jubilee weekend, etc., etc. So, looking at the vocab, we had a blinding episode lined up. So when something is lined up, it's prepared, let's say. Clarification Charlie said that when we don't have a review, we start on a sour note, so in a bad way, let's say. And she also described the review as a pat on the back, a lovely way to say well done. I mentioned how the person who put on the party was wearing the Great Britain flag. So when you put on a party, you have a party at your house. Clarification Charlie also said that she didn't partake in anything else. When you partake, you join in, let's say. You join in an activity. We had the word frail, which is a way to say like weak, especially used for old people when you are very weak. I mentioned how I was entitled to walk in the direction of my house. Some lovely vocab was when Clarification Charlie said, "It's a good job you're not a royal. It's lucky you're not a royal." I also mentioned that I had to come clean and say, "No, Mrs. RnR is not here. I was lying when I phoned up the doctor." I also said, "Put that in your pipe and smoke it," which is a great way to say to someone, like, basically, "See, I told you," when we were talking about how they say Republicans will never find a better party, and I said, well, there is one in the summer, so put that in your pipe and smoke it. You are wrong. And we also spoke about the circles that Clarification Charlie moves in, the people she hangs around with that go on royal boats. Remember to check out the show notes at rockandrollenglish.com/episode 272, where there is also some fantastic R&R grammar. I will see you all very soon, people, but in the meantime, just keep on rocking, baby.
Thanks so much for listening to Rock and Roll English. For more great content and to stay up to date, visit rockandrollenglish.com and facebook.com/rockandrollenglish. We'll catch you next time.